Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about natal Mars inconjunct Jupiter, or Mars quincunx Jupiter in the natal chart. So this is a really interesting aspect, and I do feel because of the expansive energy of Jupiter that this quincunx often works out better than some. Like it can actually end up being kind of a positive influence on someone's personality, and especially their masculine energy, as shown by Mars. It is kind of like they have this super enthusiastic energy, kind of like Sagittarian energy come through. So it can work out pretty positively for the person, but some of the dangers with this quincunx is over promising and also, getting involved in many things, pursuits that we're passionate about, or especially in work. This can come out like, really in the moment, like, which is Mars, like primal, like in the moment energy that we're passionate about. Signing up for a lot, or, promising a lot, and then realizing that we just simply don't have the time, or we don't have the physical energy, or even we don't have the capacity, like that's not even our job, or like, and then having to take a step back and realize we're not going to be able to accomplish everything that we've set out to do, or everything that we've promised that we're going to do. So you can get the reputation with this aspect of being a little bit flaky because, maybe we haven't managed our energies properly. And it's not usually coming from like a bad place at all. It's coming from a place of like really wanting to help, and in the moment really feeling like, we have the energy for it, we have the passion for it, we have the zest for life, like we want to take this project on, or we want to do this thing that we're set out to do. And it could be physical activity too, like it could be a workout, like we're like, yes, let's do it. And then when it comes down to actually doing it, we realize that we've overexpanded our capacity. Like we cannot physically do that, or we cannot physically work like these 12-hour days, or like, it can definitely show that there's a bit of like a inability to perceive what is actually possible for us as a physical human being with imperfect energy. Like nobody is perfect, nobody can do it all. Nobody can be all things to all people, or all places at all times. And so learning your limits is really key with this quincunx, because you want to do it all, you want to help everyone, you want to be the crusader for every cause. And sometimes it can get, with Jupiter too, it can get political, or it can get, to do with religion or travel or faith. Like you just bite off more than you can chew. Like you say you're going to be in this place at this time on this trip, and maybe you plan all these trips and then you don't have the money to pay for them. Or you say you're going to be at this political rally, and then you realize you're working at that time, and you have to scheduling conflicts, or like there's just like you want to be everywhere all the time with this quincunx. And so the positive side of this is like, uh actually, out of many quincunxes, like usually there is actually a lot of confidence with this quincunx, and it can sometimes border on with this quincunx, with this Jupiter Mars thing going on. Sometimes we can see some narcissism too, like or egotism, like nobody can do it as good as me, so I have to make sure that I'm there to do it. So if this is like a boss with this is the boss that can't let the employees do their job because they know they're better, so they have to like overwork themselves to just show everybody how to do it. Like there's almost like an inability to trust that other people can get the job done, so you have to do everything. Which is coming from a place of ego, right? It's coming from a place of also not trusting in other people's energy. So you overestimate yourself because you don't think that other people can do what you do. So it's kind of like that's a little bit of an egotistical way of thinking, right? It's like you want to do everything. And sometimes it's coming from a place of just wanting to help and like wanting to make sure they know what they're doing. Like if you're the boss with this aspect, you want to oversee everything because you want to make sure that they know what they're doing and they feel like it's gonna you want it to be done right. But so that can be one thing that I've seen if it's a boss like this with this placement, or if like you're the employee with this and you're like you have it, you could actually end up working for someone who doesn't have everything straight, and then you end up having to sort out all the details or all the mistakes that someone else has made. So that's common. You could even be like on the other side where you end up overworking yourself because the people around you, like the other employees or your boss, they don't have everything in order, and then the person with Mars, Quincunx, Jupiter ends up just doing everything for everybody, and like that's something you can see with this Quincunx also. Now, with physical energy, because Mars can also represent physical energy, it can also represent sexual energy. What you can find with this quincunx is real sporadic energy, like where either you have so much energy one day, like you can take on the world, you can work out, you can do your work, you can do everything in like one day, and then other days you have like no energy, and it's sort of hard to assess or discern when you're going to be just like having all this energy and when you're not. So there's sort of a fluctuation in energy. The other thing too is sexually, Mars can represent our sexuality and like the physical expression of sexuality. There could be something with the sex drive. Maybe we have like a super high sex drive for a period of time, and then we have none, and it's like we're celibate or something. And it's like there's no in between. There's no balance. And that's something that needs to be learned with this quincunx is how to be balanced in our energy, how to be balanced in our sexual energy. um, I've, I've seen men with this aspect. It's like they either come on too strong and like are overly sexual, or they're like not there at all, and like they have a hard time with seeing themselves clearly in that area, because for a man Mars is like his mojo, like his masculine energy, and they either feel like they're really like the hottest shit ever and like they got it going on, or they feel insecure and like they just don't really have a sense of themselves. And that's the problem with this quincunx is like you're either like in this like grandiose place, or you're like in a really confused, like insecure place, like who am I? So it's like there needs to be a balance of like, well, maybe you're not God, maybe you're not God's gift to the planet, but you are, you know, valuable, you're a good person, and you're like just having a more neutral vision of yourself is something that can really help, because with this it's like you either overestimate or you underestimate, and you're either like super arrogant or you're just totally like too subservient. So it's like, which one is it? Can you just be like a normal human um, with normal energy? And of course, you're always going to fluctuate with this aspect. You're never going to just be like everybody else. That's the thing, is that your energy and your like executive ability, your masculine energy, how you do things, it is different, it is sporadic, it is passionate, it is filled with enthusiasm, or none at all, or you're not going to be interested at all. Like you with this quincunx, you literally cannot do things that your heart is not in. You need to really find a job and find a relationship, something that you're really behind, right? And then when you're doing things that you really care about and you're really passionate about, it'll be easier to harness your energy effectively. And like just understanding this quincunx, understanding that this is going on, will be so healing for you, because you'll realize, oh, I am doing this, and here maybe I do need to like tone it down and not overwork myself in this certain area, right? And it'll click for you. And you have to look at the signs that these energies are in. Like, so Leo energy is where we can kind of see some of the narcissism with this. When we have a quincunx, this is an interesting thing about the quincunx. Leo Capricorn in a quincunx, I have seen that to be it can sometimes be a little bit of a narcissistic energy. Now, not to say every time or 100% of the time, but it just does seem to manifest like that. And Leo in general, obviously Leo is like the energy of narcissism, or Aries, right? But yeah, you have to look at the signs that are quincunx here, and what do they need, like, to express themselves in a more balanced way. Because yeah, with this you can see like the gambler kind of energy, we can see an impulsive energy, we can see the Mars function. It's like it doesn't know how to express itself, like chill. Like there's no chill when you have this quincunx. There's no chill. And so you do want to practice with this, like maybe like you're probably very physically active already, but something that's more still, like something that's about creating stillness, like meditation or yoga or something more relaxing. And you might think, well, that sounds boring, or what's, but that's something that would really help with this quincunx, and kind of just like coming to a more neutral place, coming to a more balanced place. Breathing exercises, right? Mars on the most basic level is like the birth, the first house, the primal energy, right? Focusing on our breathing, focusing on like the root chakra and grounding would be something that's really helpful if you have this quincunx. And also, not coming from your beliefs, in like connecting your beliefs to your ego as much, right? Like just because you believe something, Jupiter, doesn't mean it has to be like so personal, right? Like it doesn't have to be that everybody around you has to believe that same thing. Like that can be something helpful too, is sort of like recognizing it, that your beliefs don't need to be everybody else's, or kind of like depersonalizing the belief system, or yeah, like your enthusiasm, your passions, like they can be just yours, and you don't need to um, make everybody else wrong if they don't believe that, or they don't share in your enthusiasm. um, but yeah, it overall, like these things I've mentioned are challenges, but like this Inconjunct is like a powerhouse of energy. And like for a man too, like, and for women as well, because the Mars energy is kind of like the masculine energy. They are kind of like, there's a sexiness, there's like a can do attitude that is really attractive to people, because it's like a zest for life. And even though, they make mistakes, they fumble with this quincunx, there is like an awkwardness from taking on too much and trying to be all things to all people. Other people respect you because you have the authority, you have the like gung ho, let's go and do it attitude, that other people really get a boost from. And you do end up being kind of like an authority. You're someone that people respect because you will go there and you will do it. And even if you don't know what you're doing, like you will just be the one like, okay, let's go, I'll do it. And other people really respect that and look up to you a lot. So anyways, yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this quincunx, if you have it in your natal chart, or if you know someone that has it. Was this accurate, or how do you experience it? I'd love to know. And thank you so much for your requests, you guys. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.